It was supposed to be a simple camping trip with a few old friends to reconnect and escape the hustle of city life. When Jack invited me, I didn't hesitate to say yes. Plan was to spend the weekend in the remote Whispering Pines forest, known for its breathtaking views and tranquility. What I didn't expect was how quickly things would take a turn for the terrifying. We arrived at the campsite just before dusk, the sun casting long shadows through the tall pine trees. The air was crisp and cool, filled with the scent of pine needle. My friends, Dave, Emily, and Sarah, were already setting up the tents when I arrived. "Hey, Jack," Emily called out with a grin. "Help us get this campfire going." I rolled up my sleeves and joined them, gathering sticks and logs. We soon had a roaring fire crackling in the center of our campsite. The warmth was comforting as the temperature dropped and we settled around the fire, toasting marshmallows and sharing stories. As the night grew darker, the forest around us seemed to come alive with sounds. Crackling of the fire was occasionally interrupted by the rustling of leaves and distant animal calls. We joked and laughed, enjoying each other's company, when I heard something unusual. A soft, almost imperceptible whispering seemed to float through the trees. At first, I thought it was just the wind playing tricks on me, but as I focused on the sound, it became clearer. It sounded like faint, hurried voices, almost as if they were trying to say something, but I couldn't make out the words. "Did anyone else hear that?" I asked, trying to mask my unease. My friends shrugged it off as the wind or our imagination. "You're just spooked," Dave said, tossing another log onto the fire. As the night wore on, we decided to play a game of truth or dare. It was all in good fun, until Sarah suggested we tell scary stories. Emily went first, weaving a chilling tale about a lost hiker who was never found. When it was my turn, I told a story about a haunted forest, just a spooky story to fit the mood. Fire cast long shadows, and the forest around us felt darker and more foreboding as the night deepened. Suddenly, Sarah stood up and walked a short distance away from the campfire, saying she needed some fresh air. We didn't think much of it, but after a while, she still hadn't returned. "Sarah?" Emily called out into the darkness. "Are you okay?" There was no answer. Panic set in as we called her name louder and louder, our voices echoing into the forest. We grabbed flashlights and ventured into the woods, searching for. The whispering from earlier seemed louder now, almost as if it were guiding us deeper into the forest. After what felt like hours, we finally found Sarah, sitting on the ground with a blank expression on her face. She seemed dazed and unresponsive. We helped her back to the campsite, her eyes wide with fear but unable to explain what happened. As we huddled around the fire, trying to calm Sarah down, the whispering grew more intense, surrounding us like a suffocating blanket. The shadows seemed to move in unnatural ways, and I could swear I saw figures darting between the trees. "Something's not right," Dave said, his voice trembling. Before anyone could respond, the campfire suddenly flickered and died, plunging us into darkness. We fumbled for our flashlights, but the beams of light seemed to struggle against the overwhelming darkness. We huddled together, fear palpable as the whispering grew louder. It was as if unseen eyes were watching us, following our every move. I tried to convince myself it was just our imagination, but the tension was too real. Then, as quickly as it had started, the whispering stopped. The forest was eerily silent. We decided it was time to leave and packed up our things as fast as we could. Sarah was still shaken, and the once comforting forest now felt like a sinister trap. As we drove away from the campsite, I glanced back at the forest, now shrouded in darkness. Couldn't shake the feeling that something had been watching us, something that didn't want us there. The trip that was supposed to be a relaxing getaway turned into a nightmarish ordeal. To this day, I still hear whispers in the quiet of the night and avoid forests whenever I can. Some things are best left unexplored, and Whispering Pines Forest is one place I never want to visit again.